Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Shack here, and welcome aboard my Quasar assault carrier. It's a small carrier that I'm using to house some of my Star Wars builds and some of the community builds. Got the fleet going here. We've got a what is it? A CR-90 out there. It's one of the blockade runners escorting us around. But anyways, what I'm here to show you today is an updated part of the shield mod. Now, a while back, I spotlighted this really fantastic mod. Let me open up the force field here so we can fly one of the ships out, and I can give you a little bit of a tour. But a while back, I spotlighted a mod. Let me turn off my jetpack. Fleet moving, so I'm kind of listing a bit. I spotted a mod that's a shield mod. Now, we've all been wanting, I know a lot of us out there have been wanting shield mods, a shield mod for a long time. Something to defend our ships where we wouldn't have to constantly repair minor damage from asteroid impacts and whatnot, and something that would use energy to basically give us an energy shield around our vessels. I'm gonna come out here. And what we got was an early alpha build of a mod that I spotlighted that did pretty much what we wanted, but it seemed like it had some crashing issues. It didn't have its own model, it didn't look fantastic, but it worked. Now that mod has gotten a ton of work and a few new features, so I'm gonna show those off real quick. So this is the Quasar carrier. If you guys don't know, I'm doing a Star Wars build off, kind of like a contest, though there's not really a winner. You just get your build spotlighted, and you can check out the video in the description below that'll explain what that is. So that's why we've got this Star Wars Rebel fleet going. The Quasar that I did build here is housing a Y-wing. That was the initial build that kind of spawned this pseudo competition. Expect to see a mod list coming soon of the mods that I used to build. There's the Y-wing right there. And anyways, this shield mod allowed me to build that Y-wing to be lore friendly. It actually has shields on board. So does my Z95 Headhunter over there. It's kind of like the precursor to the X-wing. Expect a spotlight on that shortly. But the one thing, if you're trying to build any of the sci-fi ships, they always have these energy shields. Now, I wanted to make a Y-wing, but the Y-wing's claim to fame was, well, the ability to carry large amounts of explosives to use to bomb Imperials into the Stone Age, and heavy shields. Now that we've got shields, and now that the shield mod had an update that allows these blocks right here are small shield blocks, and that's the biggest part of the update. We can now have shields on small ships. There are 2,000 points of shields, that's 2,000 points of damage protected. Let me stop the ship real quick. All right, now that I've stopped the ship, I can give you guys a proper tour, and our escort can catch up. Let's have a little walk around. So, the big deal with the Y-wing, the reason that this whole competition started up is because we finally had a shield mod. That once the shield mod got an update, you could actually have shields on small ships. I thought, wow, you can really make lore-friendly ships now. Well, what ship would I want to build? Well, the Y-wing's claim to fame is a ton of firepower. We got those wake bomb launchers, able to bomb the Imperials back to the Stone Age, but it was slow, it wasn't very maneuverable, but it did have heavy shields. So could I build a lore-friendly ship that matches, that could, actually be lore-friendly, have all the functionality of a Y-wing? Well, with this mod, I can because of the shield mod. Now, in my last spotlight, I only showed the large ship version, and it was really early, it didn't even have its own custom model, but now it does have its own custom model. So here's the shield mod on a small ship. Now, I've got 3 of these suckers on there at 2,000 shield points per. So this thing has 6,000 shields. That's pretty heavy. I mean, they're a good size. They take up a bit of space. So you can't just slap them onto anything. You put a lot of shields on something, you're going to make it kind of bulky. Hence, the Y-wing being as bulky as it is. Something like, say, the Z95 over here, the Headhunter, she's only got 1 shield generator on board. So she's not as shielded. But that's pretty lore-friendly. The Y-wing should be more shielded. There's 1 shield sticking out here on the back, and my flare system, which I'll spotlight this another day. Now, let's look at the large ship version. So like I said, it has a custom model, and this, embedded into the wall here, is actually a shield generator with 2 upgrade modules installed. Now, I'll go over here in the light, and I'll show you what this model actually looks like. So let's just turn off my jetpack. And let's pull up the shield. So I'll type shield in here. So what the mod comes with is 4 different blocks if you count the shield module that can go onto small ships. But on large ships, you get 3 different blocks. You get the base shield generator, which I'll plant down right here. There's the components that it costs. A bit of steel plates, a lot of construction components, computers, large steel tubes. Not too bad. We'll place it down. And there she is. There's the custom model. I dig it. It's not too complex, so it shouldn't lag out your game with too many polygons. Then you've got the 2 upgrade modules, because if you have noticed, the little yellow boxes there look a lot like upgrade modules on a refinery. Well, that's because they are. This is the shield capacitor. This will increase how much shields you get. So let's actually put a control panel down. I don't know how much this changes. I haven't actually experimented with it, so let's experiment with it just a bit. We'll throw this down. Now we can put this anywhere on the ship, but I'm just gonna put it here for easy use. And let's do the shield. Should be the last shield we put on. There we go, shield 3. All right, right now we have 70,000 shields because I do have quite a few of these. Let's shut down all the other shield generators. Off. There we go. Off, off, good. Shield capacitors. Let's shut all that stuff off as well. Should be nothing on this. Good. So now the only shields that we have are based on this shield generator. Shield. These are all off. Yep, we have right now 1,000 shields. So the way this works, it still works the same way it did before. You go to your shield generator, you put a bracket at the end of the name, and then when it updates, it will now show on the name after that bracket how much shields you have. So every one of these shield blocks are worth 10,000 shields, 10,000 points of damage. And we'll test the shield to show you how much it will defend against, it will actually hold. So let's go ahead and add some upgrades. So the first one was the capacitor upgrade. We'll slap that on. You can see what it costs. This costs 1,000 construction components. This is actually more expensive than the shield itself. But there's the upgrade. Now, what kind of upgrade is that? I kind of want to know. How good is a capacitor upgrade? And what I didn't notice before is that there's upgrades on all sides. So you could put these everywhere and make your one shield generator be pretty kick-ass with upgrades. So where's our shield? Shield generator. That was an increase of, wow, no shit. Really? That one shield capacitor increased the shields by 10,000. So one of those doubles shield capacity. But what it doesn't increase, if you noticed how slow it was recharging, it doesn't increase shield, the rate at which it's charging. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this on HUD. And I took off the antenna on this ship. So let's throw another antenna on. What I did was I just turned it on HUD. So if you have an antenna that's transmitting, and we're just gonna temporarily put this right here. There we go. You can see now that we can see the shield amount it's transmitting, so we can see it just right off our HUD. 18,000, but it's going up really slowly. Maybe 100 every second? Well, if we use the other upgrade module that we get, this is the shield flux coil, and as I understand it, this should increase the shield charge rate. So let's increase... Let's do one more of these. This is the capacitor. We're gonna put down, let's put 3 more capacitors down, right? So now we've got 40,000 max possible. Let's put one more over here. So this should bring us up to 50,000. 50,000, okay. Now let's put our flux coil on there, and that should be the rate at which the recharge happens. So there's our flux coil, and oh yeah. Now we're recharging way faster, but I bet anything that this flux coil ends up draining way more energy. And that's the one thing that you got to know about the shields, is that they suck energy like crazy. Now, I don't know if they're balanced to the newest update of Space Engineers, because they did rebalance everything. So let's look at the shield. Currently pulling 15 megawatts of power. So compared to our reactors now, because they just increased reactors current output, they just increased reactor output times 6, I want to say. So these may not be as balanced as they were. I kind of like that they sucked up a lot of power. This could definitely suck up more power, but that's just one shield module. You could have multiple of these, producing even more shields. See the recharge rate? It's still working on it. Oh, it's still working on it. Let's jump into a vessel that can do some damage and see, well, how much damage that this old Quasar can take. I won't say this Quasar is balanced right now, especially not with that shield generator on there, to the lore at least, because they're supposed to be like old retrofitted frigates. So let's bring on the reactors. Let's turn this sucker online. Start my macro up.
Reactor online.
There we go.
Sensors
online. That's, you can hear the shield generators powering up.
All systems.
Weapon systems are all powering up. We're going to turn off our... There we go. We've unlocked. Engines are all online. Let's go ahead and pull in our landing gear with 8. Landing gear's coming up, and we'll start pulling out. And we're going to test the shield generator. We're going to see how much damage you can take. Now, the Wake Bomb Launcher does a ridiculous amount of damage, all right? This thing, it moves super slow. The actual round moves about 20, I want to say it's 20 meters a second from the Wake Bomb Launcher. So what we're going to do is we're going to just fly up, and we're going to set up for a bombing run on the Quasar. See if her shields hold. Look at the rebel symbol on there. So right now, she is at just under 50,000 shields. Now, real quick before I do this, there's one other update that the shield mod has had. When I did my first Spotlight, I tested it against asteroids coming in and detonating on the, on a Venator, on a small Venator. And it wasn't showing any capacitor loss, any shield energy loss when the Venator took a hit from an asteroid. It was protected, though, from asteroid hits by the shield. But the capacitor didn't lose any energy. Now, after actually playing this in a live stream, we took 3 hits, and we ended up losing thousands of points of shields based on asteroid impacts. So now they actually work appropriately. So here we go, though. We're going to drop 2 Wake Bombs on it. Bear in mind, Wake Bombs do a lot of damage. So actually, let's test it first with the minigun. We got the machine guns on the front here, the anti-fighter weapons. So we're going to test it with those. Shields, 50,000, firing machine guns. And there you go. You've already lost 40, down to 46. We lost 4,000 shields already just from that quick blast. So you can see shields aren't super OP. You can drop them pretty quickly, but in that initial fight, it'll block some damage, and you can put a lot more capacitors on there. So you may want in the way of millions when you're talking about big ships like the Quasar here. Locking on with the Wake Bomb launchers. Now the Wake Bombs are going to do tons of damage. I'm going to launch 2 of them, and we'll actually be able to follow them in. So let's set up the camera here so we can watch these suckers come down. And then we'll know right away if there's damage or not. I'm betting we pierce the shields, but I kind of want to try it anyways. Let's see here. Do we have control? Yep, we do. And we have the Wake Bomb launchers loaded and ready to go. And torpedoes away. There they go. Boom. Oh, yeah, they broke the shields. But they may have broken the shields. It's still absorbed damage. Look, there's no hull breach. Sure, they scratched the hell out of the paint, and we've got some serious metal damage and metal fatigue all over the place. It's a little dark, kind of hard to see. But we didn't have a hull breach. We're looking down here. No hull breaches. Not bad. It kind of fits in with the new update that armor takes a bit more damage now, which I like. I definitely like. I like my battles to be slugfest. It's not something so quick, but that's the update, guys. I mean, this mod is coming along. I'm going to keep following this one because I think it's so important to Space Engineers to allow us to do a few more interesting things and to make combat way more interesting. I think the next test I'm going to do is some type of capital ship fight. But yeah, if you're looking to get in on the Star Wars build-off, and check out the link to the video that I did. I'm going to do another video talking about the mods that I'm using to build these ships, like the Z95 over there in the corner, the A-Wing over here. I noticed this is actually from one of the community members. I'm going to spotlight this one later, but he's using a lot of the same mods that I'm using, and look how good this looks. Like, this is spot on. And this thing flies like a bat out of hell. It's insane. Now, here's the one that I was working on prior to downloading a community-made one, and I have to say, his is just, he nailed it. He nailed it. And I got a lot of A-Wing models to check out from everybody else who's submitted them. So yeah, if you want to get in on this, definitely check it out. We're doing a lore build. So based on the lore, can you make a ship that is balanced toward the lore, makes sense, but it works in Space Engineers? That means no 2-scale Venators or 2-scale Star Destroyers, because obviously the game just can't handle that size. You can't use them. You can't do anything fun with them. And that's one of the things I want to do with these builds as we get the collection of like lore-friendly ones. There's the Z95 Headhunter I built in the live stream. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you're working on in Space Engineers. And if you'd like to see a video that spotlights the mods that I use to build builds like this and builds like that Y-Wing, and you'd like to kind of see some of the tricks that I used to get the detail on here on how I made this look the way I made it look, I think I might do a video on that. I'm curious if you guys are interested in, like, how did you make a Y-Wing? Well, I'll go through it. All right, guys. See you in the next video. Gotta land my ships now. Get them back in the bay. It's time to get going. Hey, what happened to my escort? Oh, he's way up there. Bye.